What's going on, Heat Nation? We're back breaking down the best pistol formation in all of Madden 26. We're in pistol doubles hip, breaking down some of the best passing plays to move the ball down the field and score some touchdowns. We're also breaking down gun bunch, wide nasty, which is a powerful scheme. So if you enjoy the clips, let's hop into it and break it down. Let's go. What's going on, guys? We're kicking it off in pistol doubles hip for the first out of the two formations that we're going to be breaking down. We really like this formation because of the route combinations that we could utilize down the field. For example, shake crosser has a dagger concept that goes from left to right. But if we go down, jet cross has another dagger concept, but it goes from right to left. So we're going to be able to attack both sides of the field without the opponent knowing exactly where we're going. They even have a nice mesh rail concept that I absolutely love, and an inverted C route that we're going to utilize to get open over the middle of the field. They even have a nice jet touch pass and a verticals concept out of the jet touch pass that we're also going to be utilizing to move the ball in this incredibly deadly scheme. The second formation we're going to be breaking down is bunch wide nasty. Now, typically I don't like my bunch formations, but the more I utilize this, the more I noticed I had to break it down for you guys. Now, the Falcons playbook has a lot of bunch formations: bunch spread, bunch offset, bunch tight end, and bunch. So if you guys are a fan of bunch, the Falcons playbook is a great utilize. They even have wing slot offset, which we broke down in the Tennessee Titans playbook. So if you guys are a fan of that one, then you could utilize the Falcons playbook, get this formation and the pistol and bunch formations all in one bow. Really solid playbook. This is one of the more underrated playbooks in Madden 26. But we're going to kick it off in pistol doubles hip, and the first play we're going to break down is Z shake crosser. But real quick, we're going to go into our coaching adjustments by hitting R3 on the thumbstick and going down all the way to auto pass protection. We're going to set it to empty to ensure that stunts don't come in easily and that we don't have any predetermined slides when we call a play. But after that, we're ready to hop in the game. If you guys appreciate the fact that I'm breaking down full schemes for free on this channel, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and of course comment down below anything you want to see in the future. Now, for this play specifically, it's really unique because of the backside in that the outside doubles receiver runs. He runs to the outside and then cuts towards the middle of the field. What's also really unique is that the crossing route ran by the slot receiver is stemmable. So I could actually stem him all the way up the field or all the way down the field, depending on how many yards I need. For right now in this video, I'll leave him on the default route, but of course you guys need to experiment on the depth that you guys need to get those first downs. So for the adjustments on this play, we're going to take the solo side receiver, in this case circle, and we're going to put him on a slot fade. And we do this to ensure the deep third safety on right over here. And we do this to ensure this deep third safety gets pushed back and doesn't get any bright ideas to try to jump the crossing route going over the sideline. The second adjustment on this play is to take the tight end on the line of scrimmage X, and we're going to put him on a drag. And we do this to ensure that we have an underneath route and something that goes to the opposite side of the field to also distract the user and give ourselves the check down option. Now, we can do whatever we like with the running back. I like putting him on a flat just like this, so we have also another pull down route to make sure the curl flat defender on the defensive side doesn't get any bright ideas and wants to go to the crossing route. He goes to the running back. And of course, if he shades his coverage over the top or sets his zone drops deep, then we have another check down route that we could check to on across the sideline. Now, the only issue with pistol, I want to talk about this before we get too in depth. The only issue with pistol is that where the ball is lined up on the hash marks is super important. For example, if I put the ball on this hash right here, then every adjustment I make to the running back, like for example, a wheel route, will go to the wide side of the field, even though I want him to go towards the left, to the right side of the field. In this case with the flat, it's not going to go. If I put him on a flat, he will go to the wide side of the field. In this case, it's going to be towards the left. But even though the route combination goes towards the right, if you wanted to do that, you would have to put him on an outright. So that is the only issue with pistol, is you have to be very wary of where you are on the hash mark. But the really good thing about this formation is we got two dagger concepts going from right to left. So if you are on one hash, then you could just audible to the other dagger concept that we're going to be breaking down after this, and then you won't run into that issue. So let's set up the play just like this one more time. The reads on this play are going to be super simple. The first read on this play is going to be the running back going to the flat. We give him a nice pass lead up, and then of course after that it's just make a man miss. The second read on this play is going to be the tight end on the drag, and of course the crossing routes are always going to pull the zones up the field, making it so the drag can easily be hit. And of course, we're going to keep hitting both of these routes until the user gets bright ideas to try to shade his coverage underneath. After we do that, the crossing route going over the middle of the field to the sideline is going to be wide open. Now say the opponent gets slick. He shades his coverage underneath and then he manually guards the crossing route. I'm going to man him up to signify that. So the crossing route gets taken away and he shaded his coverage underneath. Well, that's where the backside in earns its money because of course he gets absolutely open over the middle of the field. And a down and in pass lead ensures that middle third safety doesn't get any bright ideas in himself. So this is a zone killer, but it is also a man beater as well. So if I go into man defense like I just did right now, we're going to notice that still the drag route ran by the tight end gets open across the sideline, especially a good tight end. Like actually I shouldn't call Kyle Pitts a good tight end, but a good tight end will get open down the field. And of course in man defense, the crossing route is also going to torch his man down the field. As soon as he cuts over the middle, a nice down and out pass lead will ensure the defender doesn't have the ability to intercept it. And of course, last but not least, but that backside in is also going to torch his man down the field. So we have 3 man beating routes on this play if we get caught in man defense, but in zone defense, we have all the ability to throw to any route to move the ball down the field. So that's going to be Z-shake crosser. Let's move on to the next. The second play we're going to break down is jet PA cross, and we move the ball to the opposite side of the hash to ensure whenever we put the running back on a route that he goes to the wide side of the field. For example, we put him on a flat, he goes to the wide side of the field. We put him on a wheel, he's on a wide side of the field. At Texas, wide side of the field. So we always ensure that we have the running back going to the wide side of the field, which is how we determine whether we call it jet PA cross or Z-shake crosser. In this case, we have the same exact route combination that we're going to be utilizing. For the adjustments on this play, we're going to take the triangle receiver and we're going to put him on a drag, and he's going to be the underneath option going to the opposite side of the field. Now, if you really want, you could take the square receiver and you could put him on a slot fade if you have time to make those adjustments. Same as last play, the crossing route ran by the tight end is still stemmable. It is some of the only crossing routes in Madden 26 where you could stem a crossing route. So just like that, you can utilize it to attack however depth you need in order to get the first down. So the adjustments are exactly the same, and so are the reads. Reads number 1 is going to be the running back to the flat. We have the drag ran by the triangle receiver, the crossing route ran by the tight end, and of course the backside in. So because they are the same exact reads, I'm not going to waste your guys' time going through them all again, but you guys are noticing that you can call either one of these plays depending on the hash and of course have infinite success. Now, for example, if you do have a specific reason you want to call jet PA cross and you're on the wrong side of the hash, you can just put the running back on a swing route to the sideline as well. You could do that. You could put them on an out as well, just like this. You don't necessarily have to handicap yourself to attacking the wide side of the field. I just think it is the most efficient way to run the play is when you are attacking the wide side of the field. And of course, being able to switch back and forth makes it so there isn't really too much of an excuse for you to be able to not attack the wide side of the field, if you know what I mean. So of course, you could do it just like this, and then you could throw it to the running back, and then of course you can move upfield and make a man miss just like that. But when you do something like this, it isn't typically a first read, it's more of a second and third type of read. So I just want to showcase that you can do it. I just don't think it is the most efficient way to move the ball down the field. And of course, with offense being so easy, you might as well do it the proper way and of course put the ball in the end zone. So that's going to be jet PA cross. It is the same exact as Z-shake crosser. Highly recommend utilizing both because they are absolutely money to move the ball down the field. The next play we're going to be breaking down is mesh rail, and I really like this play specifically because it doesn't matter which side of the hash you're currently on. For example, I'll just do a quick adjustment real fast, and we're going to put the square receiver on a slot fade, and by doing so we basically created a flood concept going on that side of the field. For example, we got a drag going down the field, we got the wheel route going on the middle of the field, and the push out route, which is the slot fade. So you notice a huge hole in the zone for us to be able to hit Robinson down the field. But say we want to go to the opposite side of the field, we're on the wide side now, so the running back is going to move the wide side of the field, and then you can just do the same thing over just like this, and now you're back in business going to the wide side of the field. And since the running back is already on a wheel route, it doesn't matter which side of the hash you're on. You could run this to the short side of the field just like this, and then if you want to go to the wide side of the field, you could just put the running back on your own hot route, wheel route, and then of course you're back in business just like that. So now we'll go over the actual adjustments on this play. We'll leave the running back on his wheel route, we'll stay on the same hash that we're currently on, and the adjustments on this play is to take the square receiver and we're going to put him on a slot fade just like how we previously did. But we're also going to take the circle solo side receiver, we're going to put him on an in, and then we're going to stem him up about 12 to 15 yards down the field, making it so we have another over the middle of the option in case the user dips down underneath specifically to take away the drag. So the reads on this play are going to be both drag going over the middle of the field, whether it's the receiver triangle or the tight end X. We call hike, and then we're going to look to see who has more holes and schemes ahead of him and then we're going to of course give him an outside pass lead to ensure rag catch opportunity. So just like that, you have a lot of opportunity to move the ball down the field vertically and horizontally, which is why I really like this play specifically. And we'll go to the tight end specifically on this option. And if you're really feeling disrespectful, I don't necessarily recommend doing this, right? If you really want to be disrespectful to your opponent, you could do this, and then you could just ladder it to the running back. Now that's disrespectful. And if you get a turnover or a fumble, you know what? Don't blame me on it, but you can do it. And I have done it to people, and let me tell you, it's disrespectful. Now, of course, when you have two drag routes on the field just like that, your opponent, he's going to have to shade his coverage underneath. And that's when the wheel route and the in route shine. Since we already hit the wheel route, we're going to go to the in route this time. And of course, over the middle of the field, you're going to have a huge hole in the zone for you to be able to attack zone defense. And let's go into man defense real fast. Now, the wheel route and the slot fade aren't the best against man defense, but of course you got two drags and a backside in that will do well against man defense. So you know what? We're going to make sure we're in man, call hike, and then we know both drag routes that we got going are going to have separation against their man. So just like that, there was about 5 yards of separation to Drake London. We did have to hit him across the field. And what I really like against man defense is you're going to notice that this outside corner right here, let me go to him real fast, Stokes, he has awkward positioning on the receiver, making it so if we do throw an in-breaking route, he's always going to have positioning. So for example, right now, you notice that as soon as we moved him to the inside of the field, he had positioning, a down and in pass lead, gave us an easy first down. And if you're noticing our wide receiver on the drag is getting bumped down the field, well, you're going to notice that his drag route is a little bit more unique. It kind of goes up the field and then drags. If you notice, for example, right now, compare both of the drags, you're going to notice the one from Pitts, even though he is closer to the line of scrimmage, he breaks earlier. So if you really want, you can re-drag the slot receiver in this case. And then of course you have both of them going over the middle of the field just like that at a shorter distance. If you like some depth in between the drag routes, then you want to keep them on the same default in route. But of course, if you don't like them having depth and you want them a little bit more underneath, then I'm going to recommend hot routing him to a regular drag. Of course, if you do want to run the running back to the wide side of the field, then of course you're going to take the square receiver and you're going to put him on the end, and then you're going to stem it up. So just like this, you could still run the same route combination to the opposite side of the field. So of course, if I want to call hike and hit the running back this time, then of course I'm going to wait for him to cross and then a nice outside pass lead towards the sideline would ensure that you have a lot of chunk yards opportunity. So that's going to be the play mesh rail. Highly recommend utilizing it early and often to be able to give yourself the underneath options while still giving yourself some vertical options down the field. So let's keep it moving. Next, we're going to talk about the play PA post swirl. Now, while the inverted C route is absolutely money, the rest of the routes on the field are pretty horrendous. So we are going to be making a decent amount of hot routes to make this play incredibly more effective. First, we're going to take the solo side receiver, circle, and we're going to put him on a slot fade. Second, we're going to take the tight end, X, and we're going to put him on a corner route. Last, we're going to take the square receiver and we're going to put him on a drag, just like this. Now with the running back, you could do whatever you would like with him. You can leave him on the route, you could block him, you could put him on a flat, you could do whatever you want with the running back just like this, but for right now, I'll leave him blocking. And basically on this play, we created a flood concept that goes to the right side of the field, and then of course the backside C route, he's going to be the last read on this play. Now if you want, you could stem the corner route up a little bit higher or lower depending on your preference and how far the first down is. But for right now, the first read on this play is going to be the drag route ran by the slot doubles receiver. And of course, with the over the top routes, for example, the corner route and the C route, there's going to be a lot of room to be able to attack it. The second read on this play is going to be the corner route ran by the tight end. And as soon as the drag route pulls that curl flat defender down, you're going to want to attack it to the sideline. Now what's really cool about the C route is that it is a stemmable route, so you can stem it all the way down if you really want, or you could stem it up depending on where the first down marker is. So I'll leave it how it is right now, and of course, once you call hike and the other reads on this play aren't open, you're going to notice a nice hole in the zone for you to hit that C route over the middle of the field. Now typically I like possession catching it to make sure that middle third safety doesn't come try to knock it out, but he's going to be open over the middle of the field almost every single time unless the opponent does shade his coverage over the top or set his zone drops a little bit deeper to ensure that route doesn't get open. And you're going to notice in man defense, the C route is still going to get open as soon as he cuts over the middle of the field. I forgot to reblock the running back, but it's just like a backside in route, if you will. A nice down and in pass lead will ensure a nice 30 to 25 yard gain. Now, if you don't want to block your running back, and you want to put him on a route, there's a lot of different opportunities for you to be able to attack with different hot routes. So if the running back is on a flat, then you could put the slot square receiver on any other route you would like. You could put him on a return route just like this to add some depth in between the routes and the reads. You could put him on an in just like that, or you could leave him on a drag if it's easier for you to make your reads. But if I do have the running back on a route, I like to personally put him on a return. That way I could read the running back, go back to the return, and then I could go to the corner route, and then after that to the C route. Adds a little bit more depth and delay in the routes. The only issue is you might have some bumping and grinding between the two receivers when they do break on their releases. So this is a really good play when you want to attack vertically down the field over the middle with a C route or the other underneath options. I highly recommend utilizing this play early and often to ensure the opponent sets his zones in the middle of the field, and then you can start attacking the sidelines with the dagger concepts or mesh. Let's keep it moving. The next play we're going to be breaking down is fake jet divide. And first I'll showcase the biggest flaw with this play, and then I'll showcase afterwards the adjustments we're going to make to counteract it. So first we're actually going to cancel the jet motion, and we're going to take the triangle receiver and put him on a streak. We're not going to be doing that for the actual adjustment. I'm just going to do that right now just to cancel the auto motion. So right now here, I'll try to do this with two controllers, and you're going to notice that as soon as I call hike, I'm going to guard this drag route receiver, and boom, I'm in a spot where I can guard both at the same time, the running back and the drag. And unfortunately, they are reads 1 and 2 on this play. So you could be put in a position where you're throwing it to the running back, but you accidentally put yourself in a bad spot to get picked off because the defender, the opponent, he's manually guarding the drag, and then he just happens to go in front of the running back, or he's guarding the running back and you happen to be throwing it to the drag, which he gets in the way of accidentally. So what we're going to be doing on this play is we're going to take square and we're going to put him on a slot fade, and then we're going to take the triangle receiver and we're going to put him on a return route. That way the return route goes underneath and still gives us a second read option without getting in the way of the running back on this play, and still provides a pull down opportunity for us to be able to hit the post route when we go down the field, just like this. And the post route is stemmable. You can stem it up or down depending on where the first down marker is, but for right now I'll leave him on the default depth. So the reads on this play are really simple. We're going to be looking at the running back on the wheel as read number 1. We're going to be looking at the return route as read number 2, and then we're going to be looking at the post route ran by the tight end as read number 3. So we're going to call hike and we're going to look, and we're going to notice that just like in verticals, typical bunch verticals or any type of verticals, the tight end, when he goes over the middle in between both routes, he gets open over the middle of the field. Same with this, he does the same thing where he gets open as soon as he goes up the middle of the field. He is read number 1 on this play, and because he goes up the field a little bit earlier than a typical streak would, you have a lot of opportunity for rack catch. The second read on this play is going to be the return route ran by the triangle receiver. You're going to notice that if the opponent does manually guard the running back, then you're going to have a hole in the zone for you to be able to attack the return route. And because he goes a little bit to the outside and then in, you're going to have a lot of opportunity to be able to hit him without him intersecting with any other routes down the field. So if both of them are covered or the opponent shades his coverage underneath in order to stop the return route, you're going to notice that the tight end on the crossing route gets a lot of separation when giving an outside pass. I'll call hike one more time just so you could showcase it with more time in the pocket. You're going to notice a down and out pass lead. Even if I don't shade the coverage underneath, just like in this example right here, you're going to notice a lot of separation in between the zones. And sometimes I've noticed opponents go into cover 2 with hard flats to either stop mesh rail, this return route with the running back, and then he'll manually guard it himself just like that. And then I did want to showcase that if you see your opponent in cover 2 hard flats, the circle receiver on his wheel route is going to get open across the sideline. So just like that, an outside pass lead is going to give you the opportunity for a chunk play. So if you see cover 2, especially if he is providing hard flats on that cover 2, then the outside receiver on the wheel route is going to be open across the sideline. So that is going to be the play, fake jet divide. Highly recommend utilizing it when your opponent has kind of a key in on the crossing routes over the middle, and then you know what, you haven't really thrown the C route at him, you haven't thrown mesh rail, then you want to break out this opportunity to really throw another wrinkle in this offense that your opponent hasn't been expecting. So that is going to be, of course, pistol doubles hip. Let's move on to the next. And now we're going to go into bunch wide nasty, and I really like it because the route combinations are very simple in order to run effectively. We're going to kick it off with cheat drag rub crosser. So we have an in route going over the middle of the field, and then an auto motion ran from the running back. What's really cool about this auto motion from the running back is, again, it is stemmable. all the way up or down the field depending on the depth that we want. We could even stem it down so it actually goes behind the line of scrimmage across the field, but we don't necessarily need to do that. So what we're going to do for adjustments is we're going to take the R1 receiver on his little mini hitch, and we're actually just going to put him on a drag. So we basically created a makeshift drag going over the middle of the field with a backside in going over the top if the opponent wants to shade his coverage underneath. And of course, like I said, the in route is also stemmable as well, so you could put him on any depth you would like depending on where the first down marker is. So once we call hike, basically he's going to go towards the sideline, cut back towards the middle of the field, and then we're going to be able to throw to either drag route for reads 1 and 2. I really like it because, I mean, mesh concept, again, I always say it, but it is, I think, the best route combination in Madden 26. It has a high floor and a very high ceiling for chunk yards opportunity. And of course, it makes the opponent shade his coverage underneath to be able to stop those underneath routes, making it so the over the top routes, for example, this in route, is going to get wide open across the field. And of course, he's going to be read number 3 on the play. So while this play is great against zone defense, the secret to it is how well it's good against man defense. And right now, both the running back and the drag, they beat man defense. The backside in, it beats man defense as well. But we're going to look at the tight end and how well he's able to beat man defense as well, because a lot of the times they are going to bump and collide the defenders, which is going to give a lot of separation to the tight end going across the sideline on the wheel route. So just like that, you know what? You saw a lot of colliding, and a nice up and out pass lead is going to give you the chunk play opportunity or the one play touchdown, depending on if there is an over the top safety in cover 2, cover 1, or man blitz. So not only is this a great zone beating play, but it is a phenomenal man beating play as well. So let me go to man again, and then this time we'll look at some other routes. For example, let's take a look at the running back and let's see how he does. But you know what? The drag route did even better on that separation. And I don't even know who that receiver is, but you're gonna notice a lot as soon as he goes across the sideline. Now let's see if we can hit the running back or see if he gets some collision going on in himself. So as soon as he goes across the field, we're gonna throw him an outside pass lead, and we're gonna be able to get that nice chunk gain opportunity. And last but not least, let's look at the backside in real fast. As soon as he cuts over the middle of the field, we're going to give him an out and in pass lead, and of course rack catch it if needed, if not possession catch it for the quick 15-yard gain. So that's going to be cheat drag rub. Let's move on to the next play we're going to be talking about is cheat wheel post. And I really like it because has the same auto motion as cheat drag rub, the previous play we just talked about, but this time instead of going it from right to left, we're going to be attacking the field with the post route going left to right. So the adjustments on this play is to take the tight end X and we're going to put him on a drag. So just like that, we still give ourselves the underneath option in order to either pull the middle hook defenders down for us to hit the post or to give us a quick option as read number 1. We're also going to be leaving the little slant hitch going over the middle of the field to give us again another check down opportunity or another way to pull the defenders down for us to be able to hit the post route going over the top of the field. And then we'll talk about scenarios of when the running back and the seam streak are going to be open. So first, you're going to want to peek the seam streak when you call hike to see if the opponent gives you that quick shot opportunity. Just like that, cover 3, a lot of the times I'll give it a downward pass lead and then possession catch it to pick up the quick 20 yards. So just like that, and a lot of times cover 3 style defenses, you're going to have the opportunity to be able to hit it really quickly down the seam. So just like that, one more time, before the defense really has a chance to react to it, you're just going to give it a down pass lead and then possession catch it. The next read on this play, as soon as he goes to the auto motion, is going to be the tight end on the drag. So of course, a nice outside pass lead will give you rack catch opportunity. We've talked about drags way too many times on this video. We're still going to talk about them later on, but we'll keep it moving as well. Read number 3 on this play is going to be the hitch route ran by the circle receiver. And of course, as soon as he cuts towards the field, you're going to give him a pass lead to the outside and then try to rack catch it towards the side. And then the last read on this play, I forgot to put the drag route on there, is going to be the post route ran by the solo side receiver. As soon as he cuts towards the middle of the field, goes towards the sideline, an outside pass lead is going to give you chunk gain opportunity. And it doesn't even matter if the opponent shades his coverage underneath or not. In that example, I did it, and in this example, you're going to notice still a huge chunk gain opportunity for the post route going across the field. Now, scenarios where you're going to be hitting the running back is typically cover 2 zone defense. So when you see the cover 2 defense, you're going to go to the running back, and as soon as he cuts the face to the cornerback, you're going to go an outside pass lead and then of course take it up the sideline. Typically it is a one play touchdown or a huge chunk gain opportunity. That's realistically one of the only ways you're going to be able to hit the running back on this play. Now sometimes if the opponent sets his zone drops deep or shades his coverage over the top, you'll hit the running back real fast across the sideline just like that and then give it an outside pass lead. But typically you're going to be peaking the seam streak ran by the bunch side receiver to be able to have time to even hit the running back. So if you notice that the zone drops are set specifically deep in order to stop the seam streak or the post route, then you could start peaking the running back. But typically you would rather peak the running back, you would rather peak the seam streak than the running back on this play. So that is going to be the play. Sheet wheel post. Let's keep moving to the rest. The next play we're going to be breaking down is branch return. And there's two different setups that we're going to be talking about specifically for this play. First, we're going to talk about this one right here, which requires no setup at all. You could just call hike and run it as is. So what we're going to be doing is, of course, the tight end, he's going to be read number 1. The return route circle, he's going to be read number 2. And then, of course, the backside in ran by square is going to be read number 3, with the running back at the check down being read number 4. And of course, when we call hike, as every drag so far that we've talked about today in this video is going to get open in zone defense as soon as he cuts over the middle. Read number 2 on this play is going to be circle on the return route. As soon as he cuts back towards the field, you're going to give him a nice pass lead down and in, and then rat catch it to be able to go up the sideline. I almost think of it as a secondary drag route because it basically does the same thing as a drag. It just has a lot more delay to it for us to be able to hit it over the middle of the field. And of course, it still allows us to read the first drag route and then after that go back to the second one. Now, read number 3 on this play is going to be the in route ran by the solo side receiver. As soon as he cuts towards the middle of the field, a nice pass lead down and in, unlike the one we just had, will give you a lot of opportunity to be able to either possession catch it or rat catch it and turn it upfield across the sideline. We'll do it one more time just so you can get a cleaner rep from the quarterback. Just like that. And then read number 4 is going to be the running back on the block and release and then to the sideline. And I like it just because I think it's a really cheesy way to be able to get a lead block from the tight end to be able to move the ball upfield. We didn't really get that good of an animation this time, but sometimes when you do this and then the tight end doesn't completely whiff his block, you basically set yourself up with a secondary screen pass. If you don't want the block and release and you want it to happen a little bit sooner, then you could just put them on your own out route just like that. Throw it to him, and then of course now you have a little bit more of time to be able to get your blocker downfield. But when done correctly and then executed properly by your tight end, then you're going to have the ability to give yourself a secondary screen route, if you will. That was a little bit better right there. And then of course you're able to move the ball down the field. So that's going to be setup number 1. The second setup is going to be not much different, but you're going to streak the solo side square receiver, and then you're going to put the R1 slot bunch into a crossing route just like that. And then basically give yourself an over-the-top option to be able to go towards the left side of the field. So you have the drag route underneath, you have the return route as a backside read, and then you got a crossing route going over the top in case the opponent shades his coverage underneath. And even if he does shade his coverage underneath, this crossing route does go over the top of the zones. Just like that, you have a huge chunk gain opportunity that's going to land you almost a touchdown every single time. So you basically lose the backside in option, but you gain a crossing route opportunity. I really like mixing both of them up in case the opponent gets any bright ideas, because then he's looking for the backside in, and then all of a sudden he doesn't have a backside in, he's got a crossing route going over the top. But you still have all the other reads on this play to be able to move the ball underneath and of course pick up first down, so without attacking the crossing route or the backside in over the top for some vertical routes. So that is why I really like branch return. I think it is one of the best plays that you could utilize to be able to safely and effectively move the ball down the field. Let's keep it moving. So that is going to be the Atlanta Falcons playbook. I really like this playbook. It's a lot of fun and it is incredibly deadly and effective at moving the ball down the field. If you guys really enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and of course comment down below on anything else you would like to see down the line. But other than that, hey, good luck everybody.